Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull is preparing to back Prince Charles as the next head of the Commonwealth amid doubts over how a succession will be developed at a gathering of 53 world leaders this week. Mr. Turnbull is emerging as an important voice in the debate over the successor to Queen Elizabeth in a key test of whether her position at the head of the Commonwealth should be seen as hereditary. Prince Charles meets with Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull at Government House in Canberra. Photo, Alex Sellinghausen. The Australian Republican movement has seized on the debate to step up its call for a vote on a republic while Queen Elizabeth is alive, arguing that the discussions at the Commonwealth show the wisdom of making a decision as soon as possible. The Commonwealth nations should make a democratic decision about who should be their next head, said ARM National Director Michael Cooney. Queen Elizabeth II is the head of the Commonwealth. Photo, EPA. Mr. Cooney said Australian voters should be able to make the same democratic decision about their head of state, and that a national vote should be held in 2020 in order to clear the way for a referendum in 2022. Mr. Turnbull, a former head of the ARM and an avowed Republican, will fly to London this week for the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, including a formal gathering at Buckingham Palace and a retreat at Windsor Castle. Fairfax Media understands he will recommit Australia to the position adopted by Julia Gillard as Prime Minister in 2011 to support Prince Charles as the next head of the Commonwealth. The government stance on the succession was signalled in February but has been confirmed ahead of Mr. Turnbull's flight to London next week. But the question has fueled a frenzy of speculation in London about alternative scenarios, such as the choice of a ceremonial leader from outside the monarchy to cement the group's democratic credentials. The London meeting is expected to be the Queen's last CHOGM and is being held in the United Kingdom to accommodate her wish to reduce her travel commitments. The Queen turns 92 on Saturday, April 21, the day after the summit closes. A concert at the Royal Albert Hall will celebrate her birthday. The Prime Minister spoke with Prince Charles on several occasions in the past week as they attended the Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast, at one point touring the athletes' village together. Mr. Turnbull also shared a photograph of his new grandson, Ronan, in an exchange with Prince Charles during the opening ceremony. Asked about his relationship with Prince Charles earlier this month, Mr. Turnbull said he was a very charming guy, but also argued for an Australian head of state. "I definitely believe Australia's head of state should be an Australian citizen, not the King or Queen of the United Kingdom," he said in a radio interview, "and we had a red-hot go at that in 1999 in the referendum. Sadly we lost. But you know, as indeed the Prince of Wales said the other day, whether Australia becomes a republic is a matter for the Australian people, and so it is." While the head of the Commonwealth is often assumed to be an hereditary position, leaders and officials have made clear for years that a formal decision is needed to appoint the next head and that it does not have to be the next in line to the throne. In an embarrassing 2009 diplomatic cable later revealed by WikiLeaks, Commonwealth political director Amitav Banerjee was quoted telling a U.S. official that Prince Charles did not command the same respect as the Queen. Mr. Banerjee was described as saying the Commonwealth was trying, quietly, to get Prince Charles more involved in Commonwealth affairs, and that a formal decision was needed on the succession. The current arrangement dates back to King George VI, who took the title after the independence of India in 1949 led to a compromise in which he was recognized as head of the Commonwealth even when he was not the head of state of a member nation. The ARM notes that King Charles would be head of state in only 16 of the 53 member nations, including Australia, if there is no vote on a republic. A spokesman for Mr. Turnbull rejected claims in the UK that a high-level group had been formed to decide the succession. The group, which included former Defence Minister Robert Hill, was charged with improving governance, but the group publicly stated the succession was not part of its mandate.